The BMW i3 electric vehicle is definitely cut from different cloth. I could be talking about the unconventional greenhouse that lacks a traditional Hofmeister kink C-pillar, or the back doors that are rear-hinged, but I'm referring to the i3's passenger structure literally made from different cloth, carbon fiber reinforced with resin, and BMW is proud to show it off. This model, dressed up like Deadpool, is the new S variant. It gets some different body panels, a suspension that's lowered, and power that's upped. In addition to the standard and sporty S models, i3 is available as a purely electric vehicle or with a gasoline-powered range extender, which this one has. Similar in concept to the Chevy Volt, the BMW uses a two-cylinder engine with a really small gas tank. Just 2.3 gallons, and fill it with premium because that's what the 38 horsepower, 647cc engine wants. i3 is rear drive. The electric motor of the S is tuned to 184 horsepower and 199 pound-feet of torque. It takes 4.5 hours to charge the floor-mounted 33 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack using a 240-volt charger. The EPA says the range-extended model goes 97 miles on battery and another 83 on gasoline. The Navi system locates charging stations, which is more important on i3s without the gas range extender. Like all EVs, electric efficiency depends on temperature and driving style. There are modes that let you adjust driving dynamics. People like electric cars because they have lots of torque off the line. i3 is no different. In city driving, i3 feels spunky enough. It's a tad quicker than the Nissan Leaf, a skosh slower than the Chevy Bolt EV. 0 to 60 happens in a little over 7 seconds. Remember, this version has the range extender, which adds weight, so it's a little bit slower than the battery-only model. i3 has the serenity of an EV since there's no engine sound, and it's quiet around town where it's most comfortable. This being an electric car, of course you're sending power back to the battery when coasting and braking. The regen on the i3 is very aggressive just by lifting your foot off the throttle. Comes to a complete stop. This particular suspension is firmed up and lowered nearly ½ inch. It corners true with little body roll and remains pretty comfortable. Yes, this is the S version that handles better than the regular i3, but don't confuse this for an M3. The track is 1.5 inches wider than the standard i3, and the tires are a smidge wider, but they're still relatively thin and low rolling resistance Bridgestone Ecopias. Not exactly performance rubber. The low center of gravity gives it a flingable nature, as long as the flinging isn't extreme. At freeway speeds, crosswinds can be felt, and the i3 can ride the worn grooves in the road, often called trammeling. One big advantage of the i3, it has an amazing turning radius. This thing just spins around on a dime. One more shot from the outside. Man, if I keep doing this, I'm gonna get sick. As for observed range, I saw about 93 miles with temperatures in the mid-60s before the range extender kicked on. The two-cylinder only runs a generator. And it sounds like one. BMW offers 2 years of free charging with a Charge Now card, better than Tesla Model 3. Clearly, designers were trying something new inside the cabin. It appears very different from the other vehicles BMW makes. On the positive, the soft leather is processed using olive leaf extract, and the eucalyptus wood trim is sustainable. This stuff? It looks like packing material to me, and there's a lot of it in eyesight. Starting and operating the car is as different as the design. It took me a full week to begin to feel comfortable with the drive selector. The carbon fiber construction allowed engineers to open this space up for an airy cabin with exceptional visibility. There are small storage cubbies all throughout the front. Personally, I like manual seats for their quickness, but most will expect power operation in a BMW, and since it's a Bimmer, there's iDrive. While the newest version normally gets touchscreen ability these days, the i3 does not, at least for now. Apple CarPlay, wireless in this case, is available, but optional. Sorry, no Android Auto. To get in and out of here, you must have the front door open. Families that use the back seat a lot might find that a bit of a hassle. Also, this space is on the cozy side. Bolt EV seats 5 in a pinch. i3 maxes out at 4. Hydrating is easy to do, but charging phones isn't. There are no power ports in the rear. And no seat pocket storage? A reminder that those in the front have to take their seat belts off to open the rear door. Something to keep in mind as I assess the cargo hold, i3 is deceptively small. Compared to the Chevy Bolt EV, it's about 6 inches shorter. These elastic straps are mighty handy. Wish more cars had them. Not handy? You have to open up all the doors to lower the seat backs. At least the floor is pretty flat. Speaking of, the tires are run flats. There is no spare. The Bolt will take on 6 packs of my standardized measurement metric, 2 more than the BMW. There's a frunk too, but it's small. We're down to individual rolls for this space. The geek in me appreciates that BMW approached the i3 in a creative way, right down to its carbon fiber foundation. There's some deep thinking happening here, and for those who complain that all cars look the same these days, here's Exhibit A to prove they don't. Mainstream buyers will find everything about the i3 too avant-garde, and the price will keep starving artists away. The standard i3 starts at about $45,500 before any tax credits. The S here begins at $48,600. Adding the range extender bumps each by nearly $4,000, pricing well past Chevy Bolt territory and into Tesla Model 3 range. So, if you want something German, something electric, and something completely different, the i3 has it. A couple things before I mosey off to edit the next video. That raw carbon fiber thread is made in Washington State in a factory powered by wind and hydroelectric. It's about 4 to 5 hours from where I live, so this car has made the round trip from Germany. Finally, my wife is thinking about going electric, and one reason for me reviewing the i3 was to expose her to it as a candidate. Ever the practical left-brain woman, she dismissed this right-brained vehicle after 30 seconds, especially after she saw the doors. And I know cars don't have brains. You know what I mean. If you like the idea of the i3, electrification, interesting design, carbon fiber construction, but find the price a little steep, know that you can buy pre-owned ones at a significant discount. I did some checking here in Seattle. I could easily find a bunch of 2-year-old models for under $25,000 with the range extender. It's not an S model, but it'll get you into the electric car world, which I rather like. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.